As you can see here, we have Shrimati Bhakti Lalita Devi. She's one of our Bhakti Yoga teacher. Yuvati Didi, she is yoga teacher. Chaitanya Maya Didi from Italy, she's also a famous yoga teacher. So, yoga means spiritual connection, but yoga has many stages, and wellness and healing through yoga is very easy. And chanting actually also part of yoga. The highest part of yoga called Bhakti Yoga, which we're going to speak today about. And, that's something we have to be very attentive and very conscious about Bhakti Yoga. And you already visit us and you've been our guests. Krishna Bhakti Janma Hoy Mul Sadhu Sangha, it says in scripture, the principle of spiritual development, especially when you want to develop Krishna Bhakti, means divine love and affection. Mul Sadhu Sangha, the key, the root is association. So when we have good association with people that helping us grow with higher consciousness, we adding that higher consciousness to our own heart and mind. So therefore, it's very, very important. Since time immemorial, people would get together, they would chant together, they would eat together. But of course, we can eat meat, which means killing animal and cause animal suffering for our own pleasure. That is not what we eat. We eat sattvic food, which is good of moodness. But before that, we also offer that food to Supreme Lord, so that food becomes spiritually powerful. And then so we speak. But what do we speak? News, movies? No, we speak about things which important, connect with ourself, with our soul, with vision of the world, with divinity. So this consciousness exchange becomes very powerful, because consciousness, like a water, it can wash your mind and can enter your heart. And of course, what is the number one media is the sound. Remember, without sound, it's very bad communication. If you see Indians dancing, they can show you things, but still, the sound is the most important communication instrument. Also, sound has many levels of vibration, can also give you sound is not just about external part. Like you see like some music and opens your heart. But that's mental sound. As our guru used to explain, there's inner sound, the sound of the soul that comes from within, not from without. Inner sound, it's something which connect with ourself and something that can heal, purify us, and transform us. However, just this morning, some of my friend came and she did sound healing, bow, bow, bow. Really nice. And I feel like, oh my God, it's so much power. Like I was not expect that this can be like so much effect on me. But that was different frequency and vibrations. When we add into this frequency and vibration, divine sound of mahamantra, has become a miracle, because it's affecting our consciousness, not just our physical well-being, it's our spiritual well-being. Remember, physical well-being is like hunger, mental health, physical health. Yes, it's very important. That's why yoga is taking care of that. But if our soul is not satisfied, if our self, true self, Atma, is not fulfilled, nothing will fulfill us in this world. That's why rich people suffer, famous people suffer, smart people suffer. Only stupid people don't suffer. And we say, why? He's crazy. Crazy means sometimes may not be connected with this world. That's why sometimes the great sages or great yogis would be perceived by common people as crazy. Like, why he's laughing? He has no money, he has no clothes. Why he's so happy? He must be crazy. I only get crazy if I get something. I only get happy if I enjoy or exploit something. But how come somebody can be happy within himself? So that is very deep questions. What is fulfilling your heart? Not what brings you the pleasure, what brings you fulfillment? And in this case, I just want to ask you questions. If anybody of you had any life history when you were happy without material things, when you enjoy your inner self, anybody? Let's ask Bhakti Lalita. How old you was when you met your teacher?
How old?
Yeah.
Was I?
Yeah.
I would say that was in my 20s and 30s and 40s, all throughout.
No, I understand. But when you met your teacher first time, and what I need is everybody's personal experience, not general philosophy. Like when I met somebody, I fell in love, and I did this. We need something concrete.
Yeah, I'm just saying that my happiest moments were in service to him. And I first met him when I was 20 years old. And then I stayed in India for 6 months with him, and then served some time in our Santa Cruz temple of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And then I went back in 1995 and joined him and stayed until 2010. So all throughout that time, just the principle of selfless service bringing joy in the association of a real sadhu.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any devotees or guests want to share? Yeah, without drugs and rock and roll.
Dancing.
Okay, so tell
when
us.
I dance in nature, I feel like there is no difference between me and everything else. I'm just happy in the movement, in the flow, and when I'm with my friends, that's pure joy for me. Even with my soul family, when we have our little moments of sharing heart-to-heart moments of everything, not
Okay.
I don't know, those are things that bring me joy, that where I was truly happy without trying to be anything more than I am.
Anybody else? Anyone else wants to share some of his spiritual experience? What about you? Your yoga teacher?
Well, I went to India looking for yoga. And I had a whole plan to go to several yoga teachers. But I met a devotee who told me, if you really want to know a yogi, come with me. I will show you a real yogi. So I come to get to know Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaj in India. And I was like thinking he would be a skinny guy, like a little levitating, like.
No, we got one from Mauritius.
You
look like yogi.
I was expecting somebody doing very special mystic things, and I stay near him maybe 2-3 days, and then I had a mystical experience with him because he took my heart without saying a word to me. He didn't say anything directly to me, but he just grabbed my heart, and I didn't know anything about the whole philosophy. I didn't know where I was getting into, but it was the happiest moment of my life because I felt my heart completely fulfilled in that moment. And then I just immediately asked him if he could guide my life as my master.
Okay, that's good. Anybody wants to share their own spiritual experience? Okay, give me a microphone. I can tell you one story. So I met my teacher, like we have common teacher, Srila Govinda Maharaj in New York. At that time, I was long hair, artist, working with other artists, smoking weed. And then I understood this artist I'm working with knows some higher knowledge he doesn't want to share with me. But I felt he has some knowledge. Then I said, what is that you know that I don't know? And he said, well, I practice Bhakti Yoga. And I said, hey, yoga, my father is yogi. My father was vegetarian. He said, no, Bhakti Yoga. I said, what is that? He said, I cannot explain to you now, but if you want, I can give you one book to read. Then I was very excited. He gave me Bhagavad-Gita. It's an amazing book. But what was more amazing is that I haven't read that book just like I read any other books. I would read every sloka, every slogan, every piece, and it hit my heart. So it took me like 2 weeks to read the book. Normally you can read a book in a day or two, but I've read like 2 weeks, and I feel I want to read more and more and more. I can't stop reading it. Then as I can't stop reading it, I met with my friend, and I said, I brought you some food. He said, I'm sorry, I'm vegetarian. I said, okay. And I thought, why I'm not become vegetarian? I was vegetarian when I was a child. Just immediately, like in one day after Bhagavad-Gita with my friend, I stopped like meat. Then, I read some other books and just big awakening coming to my mind. And I said to my friends, what should I do? He said, well, cow vegetarian, donkey vegetarian, horse vegetarian. Hitler read Bhagavad-Gita. Big people read Bhagavad-Gita. All big people, they know philosophy. He told me, but if you really want to practice this devotion, you have to start chanting. I said, okay, show me how to do it. So he went there, he gave me like the beats, and I started chanting Hare Krishna every day. But after some time, I'm thinking, I'm reading the book. It says in the book, if one wants to move spiritual life, he has to meet bona fide guru, teacher, and get the mantra from teacher. I'm thinking, who's my teacher? My friend. I met some other people, but I have no teacher. And as soon as I start inquiring teacher, some people start appearing in my life that start guiding me towards meeting a teacher. So I met one, a great, very famous devotee. His name was Pradyumna. He was a Sanskrit scholar. And I said, well, can you teach me Sanskrit? He said, yes. And then I realized it's a little bit more complicated than what I think. But still, I think he was my teacher. He's my Sanskrit teacher. But he told me, like, look, you can learn academics, but you need spiritual teacher. I said, what do you mean spiritual teacher? He said, not just somebody gives you the grammar. He also gave me many spiritual things. Somebody who will give you connections with Krishna, with divinity, with God. And I said, how do I get that teacher? Because every book I've read sounds like this teacher is already gone. He said, no, there are always teachers in this world, but you have to look for it. I said, I don't know, I'm in New York. Who can I find? I found you, barely, by lucky moment. And he said, don't worry. When something will come, I will let you know. So one day he called me and said, there's some great teacher coming from India to New York, and then he's stopping in New York, and then he's flying to California. You should try to meet him. So I call a couple of friends of mine, who kind of I already, at that time, I found a couple of people who's similarly interesting, and I said, hey, the teacher is coming from India, come with me. So we came to place was not a very good place, and it was not easy to find a place. But still, we saw like a group of people like here right now. And when I saw a group of people, I thought, well, it sounds like the meeting starts about 6 o'clock, but it's already 6:30. And they said, don't worry, he's coming. So we wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. I said, oh, they're traveling from New Jersey, it's a long traffic. You know, New York could be sometimes crazy. So 6 o'clock, it's rush time. So the car came about maybe 8:30. By that time, some people who was like accidentally there, they gone. So maybe from like 60, 70 people, maybe 20% of people gone. They said, I cannot wait, I'm sorry. But I thought, well, if they said it's coming, I just have to wait. I'm accepting. So I wait for 2 hours. But, you know, waiting, speaking, get to know the people, interesting people. I understand some of them very experienced in the spiritual practice. They connect with Srila Prabhupada, many other teachers. I understand this is not something superficial, it's some kind of a destiny there. Then when the minivan came and the teacher came out and with two monks, I thought he looked like women, like babushka, like old woman, you know, like nice face, like smiling. No, it doesn't look like a male, you know, like more like when you meet your grandmother, you know, like sweet, loving, covered by saffron dress, like this, like, you know, head like covered like this, shaved, glasses, and you know, like very sweet and respecting everybody. And you know, like my expectation of like I meet some teacher, you know, some philosopher, you know, like very confident person. It wasn't my expectation, but it was something beyond that. So he was very sweet and look at me, look at others, and then he started speaking. Some people start like crying and feeling like deep connection with what he spoke, because he spoke about Srila Prabhupada, some great sages, how he met them in his young age, how they, you know, traveled together in Vrindavan, and how they, yeah, thank you. Yes, how you know, he told like his life stories. Then by end of the lecture, my heart was completely open, but I had questions. Because see, I always try to do spiritual practice, but I realized I can't really be perfect one. So I said, can I ask a question? I said, what? I said, if somebody, I'm not saying me, I said, if somebody is like not fully 100%, can do all the spiritual practice, which I've learned from the books, what will happen to him next life? And he started telling me some stories. One story he told about prostitute. That prostitute would come to Jagannath temple and offer her food. And then the priest found Jagannath has all mouths, the statue of Jagannath has mouths full of that food. And he started chastising everybody. Why you that cheap food? You are smash the face of the Lord. And everybody said, no, we're doing the way we're doing. And then they detect that prostitute women every day bringing some food and put it in front of the statue while everybody's away, and she's like praying, meditating, and that food disappears from the plate. And Jagannath, which is big famous, eat that food. And then they discovered that prostitute has more love of Krishna more than anybody else. Then he told me some other stories, and then I realized it's not about me, good, bad, it's about love. Just like you love your child, right? You're not going to punish your child or say, oh, you're not a good child. And then something like clicked my heart, and I thought, okay, it's not about how hard I'm trying. I definitely should try hard. But this is something coming by divine love, divine mercy. And, you know, It was 8 o'clock already, maybe by 10. We only had that whole rent by 10 o'clock. And the people said, okay, sorry. Your time is finished. We have to shut down, go. Then the teacher said, I'm sorry, I'm only here for 1 day. Tomorrow I'm flying to California. Anybody want to have more questions? He can see me tomorrow morning. And some people said, well, better if we stay overnight across the river in New Jersey in some devotee house. Because driving, you drove here 4 hours, spent 2 hours in traffic, and driving home will be like very late, and you leaving tomorrow, flying. And so my Sanskrit teacher told me, like, if you want to ask more questions, you can get into the car with us. Because they decide to stay overnight. So I came, and I said to my teacher, Sanskrit teacher, this is such an amazing person, opened my heart. Maybe next time when he will come in New York, I will ask him initiation to become my guru. And my Sanskrit teacher said, why do you think that this fortune happened twice in your life? And I thought, like, oh my God, that's like, it's not like me coming to India, finding teachers. It's like the teacher coming from India, and I'm meeting him, and I understand this person is, taking my heart. So why this will happen one more time, like my opportunity, Then I thought, okay, I don't know really. I will ask him in the morning. So I had to sleep somewhere on the yoga mat on the floor. He wakes up very early. I wake up about 4 o'clock in the morning, take shower, went to the teacher. There was like a few people. And he told me, like, I like your questions. They're sincere questions. I said, I have more. He said, no problem. You can ask. I asked a couple of questions because, I read the books and I make marks. But then I feel I have my internal question, not mind question, the heart question. And I said that actually the reason I ask you questions because I'm not sure if I can be perfect practitioner. I think I'm a very imperfect person. So I don't think I'm like, I can be like, 100%, always doing things. I said, yes. And I said, and I like your answers. So do you think someone like me has any chance to receive some initiation mantra from you? He looked at me, he said, yes. I said, when would that be? He said, now. I look at my friends and I said, I don't know what to do. He said, no, don't worry, like Rasabi will speak Bengali. And so after some time, they give me like white clothes, the flower. I didn't have anything. And he gave me the mantra, Hare Krishna, give me like the beads, like an initiation. It's like, chant the mantra like, Shama. Tremendous stuff. Maybe more complicated than I thought. Okay, good. Anyway, he's giving beats like this, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and I like hold these beats. And then after some time, they said, oh, we're getting late to airport, too late. And like everybody quickly pack and go to airport. So now I've finished my story. So chanting every day. Well, the rest is not. Now I'll tell you my awakening moment. Now I understand. I saw my teacher only once. Now I have to go and see him to India. And that took some time, maybe a couple of years. I had to save money, prepare myself for a long journey. And first time I came to holy place Vrindavan, and I had no idea about India. I thought like Chiangmai and Bangkok, it's like next door. And when I came to Vrindavan, because we have some address of Vrindavan, but at that time our temple was not built. It was just a piece of land. So I came to Vrindavan. I got a bunch of young guys, Indians, drive me, and I couldn't find anything. I could not find my teacher. I couldn't find temple. In fact, everything I did, I was completely wrong. Met the wrong people. When you're on your own, you don't know nothing. But at a certain point, I said, okay, I want to see Govardhan Hill, the very, very secret place, which I read in the book. And in India, you always have to bargain. Just like, sometimes like here, they tell you 100 baht. It's like 5 minutes to drive, but you agree. So they told me like 200 rupees. And I thought, I pay from station 200 rupees. Why they ask me that much money? It must be like next corner. And, this guy's always cheating. They see I'm not a local guy. So I argue with them. And they say, okay, 180. And suddenly when I agree for 180, they told me like 25 kilometers. I said, if I measure, if there's not 25 kilometers, I don't pay. Then I realized it's like 1 hour travel. It's not a bad price. And they also told me, we can go around. And I thought it's a hill, but it's hill 12 miles. So I came to this very place, and I saw that the most holy place of Vrindavan. And I was like so stupid. With my shoes, I claimed to that holy place. I put on the top of this mountain, not very high mountain. And there's some like yogis would be like, it's a really yogic place. There's many wild, real sages living around. And they look at me like I'm full idiot because they would never come in the shoes in this hill. And I'm like walking with my camera, like take picture of every stone. They're like, hello, and I take their picture. Then I came down and I said to my heart, it doesn't feel like spiritual. And I was so sorry. I came all the way through to this place and I have not felt spiritual. And this guy said, come on, like, and they already said, like, you have to pay more, you stay there 30 minutes, like, I was like, so like depressed. And I said, okay, I pay you more, don't worry, I pay you, just let me do what I do. And then I think I'm so much depressed, I don't want to sit with these guys because they always smoke ganja and they talk to me in jokes. But now I came to the holy place, I'm very depressed for some reason. So, the rickshaw has backside, and I turn on the backside, like, just like chair, couch, but from the back. And I said, okay, I will look from the back, this environment. And inside my heart, I said, it appeared to be everything I read, everything I did. I had certain idea about the spiritual thing, but it didn't match my expectation. As soon as I had this inside, I've said this inside of my heart, you know what happened to me? Within several minutes, I discovered myself in the rain of tears. My t-shirt was bad. Tears were like water streaming from my eyes. And at that very moment of my lamentation, I understood one thing. You an idiot, you have no eyes to see spiritual things. Immediately, spiritual world resonated to me. in a way that I felt. It was like one moment, and this Indian guy said, "What happened to you? What happened to you?" And I'm like, I said, "No, go, no problem, no problem, no problem." And they're like thinking something wrong with me psychologically or something. So now think of this: I have like my t-shirt so wet, and I'm driving around this place, and all in my heart is like, "Thank you." And I want to thank those guys. I want to thank those everybody I see, the cows, the people. I just want to tell like, "Thank you, thank you." It was so amazing. Then that feeling gone. And then later I get into train, I travel to other part of country. It took me like several days. Finally, I met to the teacher, and he received me with love. But that spiritual journey, which I'm sharing with you today, was the core of my understanding that has nothing to do with my own perception of what spiritual reality is. In fact, it's all wrong. But when I felt something which is more than just sentimental stuff, then I understood, okay, this higher thing exists. Maybe it's going to take me millions of lives. It's okay, no problem. I'm sure whatever I'm ready, it will come to me. That's like one of the few things I felt in my life is real. I think everything else is more or less, kind of like based on that belief. Try to chant, try to read. It's all good, It's just like, it's like a path. So what my prayer today is that each one of you will have something like that in your life. Something that firmly will show you that these realities exist. So if somebody tell me, "Oh, there is no God," I say, okay, maybe for you. Oh, all right, maybe. Oh, meditation, yoga, wonderful, maybe. Maybe you're a great person. But I know one thing. I don't believe God exists. I know He exists. It's not belief, like in a sense of like, imagine something or project something. I know. But, it was like this. He showed me like this, little bit. Not even show Himself. Just show me like, look. All right? It's something real. It's nothing to do with you. So that was my story. Thank you for listening and allow me to share. I know every one of you on a path. Otherwise, we would not meet here after billions of years. See, she came from China. She came from Europe. There's reason for that. She's coming from Brazil. She's also coming from Brazil. You should become friends. Yeah, because, and, she also like, when I saw her first time, she had no hair. She dressed like a monk and no hair. I thought, what the arrogant girl is like, no hair. She's like so confident. You know what I'm saying? She had no hair and she was like very confident and glasses. And I said, well, like, what does this girl think about herself? Let's see if she's going to make it. Years after she made it. So, because there's many people, they're coming for like 1 week to do Vipassana or like, I'll, and after 1 week or 2 weeks, they sadly realize all they want is get married or get a job or get a boyfriend. Like you can't blame people for discovering their true need. Very few people can like stay with a teacher, be around great teacher, especially, he's an old Indian gentleman. It's not like somebody from your own country. He doesn't, watch baseball and, eat French fries. It's a different culture, it's a different way you behave. But if you're searching for something real, the condition will reveal itself. Sometimes it will not really be the condition you want, honestly. So don't think spiritual life, it's an ideal place. Never like that. In fact, it will be a lot of difficulty for you, a lot of challenge, which you don't even know what it's going to be like. But through good association, you can be fine. All you need to do through your spiritual life is good association. If you can find teacher, it's amazing. If you can find spiritual friends, remember, you can't always be with teacher. It's not like you come with the teacher every time you want to be with him. You maybe meet him a few times in your life, or he will give you important instructions. But your everyday work on yourself, remember, it's not about teacher. Teacher is not going to do it for you. He will show you what to do. Your sadhana, your chanting, your meditation. But then you have to manage yourself on your daily basis, every day. And believe me, most battlefield with yourself, you're going to lose. You're not going to win all the battles with yourself. Most likely you're going to lose 90%. I lost about 99.9. But, I'm giving you more credit. 90% is 10% success rate is good. But that one little percentage that you may reserve for your soul, it will be real. See, we'll live in a world of illusion. There's no point of how much you're in illusion. 99%, 90%, 99.9%, it's illusion. It's like if I give you fake money, it doesn't really matter how much fake money I give you. A billion fake money, million fake, it's all fake, right? It's not real. So you may enjoy this idea. Hey, I'm a fake billionaire. I'm a fake millionaire. Like, what is better, to be fake billionaire or fake millionaire? Maybe, it's a different way you count things. But if you get something real, something substantial, something that you can say, yes, I know it's true. Maybe I cannot experience this today. Like many times I said to people, I would give up spiritual life. Yeah, spiritual life is for very high level people, not like people like me. But I cannot give up something that I know is real, because everything else is not real on that level. So how can I manage that? Like, I cannot give up billions of fake money for one real dollar, for the gold coin that I'm looking for. I'm looking for something real, like everybody else. So, I don't know. Sorry by giving you this long story, but I hope you enjoy that story. I hope it will get some meaning for you. Actually, I'm on the way to India with some of the friends, and we will have many spiritual programs also in our ashram here. We also have our ashram where Srimati Bhakti Lalita resigned. She's one of our senior women teacher. So if anybody wants to have some questions with her, no problem. With your situation, it's workable, don't worry. It's hardware. Hardware, software problem. Actually, it's software, but resolvable. So I can, after program, I can explain. You can take Vasuda phone. I will show you something which will be fine. Like Yuvati can show. It's basically, he needs Anulom Vilom, that sadhana. She can show. She can teach you some breathing. It's all about breathing. A lot of it fixed with breath. But where's breathing, there's chanting. So it's next stage. But it's not for physical, it's for spiritual. Any comments, questions? By the way, think of this. There's a billion people in China. And you're a lucky one. We have few also. I used to go to Shanghai, and we have many yoga teacher friends, because a lot of our people doing yoga. I also teach some bhakti yoga and breathing pranayama. So we have some friends, and sometimes they're coming to Thailand, and some of Chinese devotees, two Chinese devotees, they stay in our ashram. You should come and visit them. They're very sweet, very amazing people, very good heart. Actually, Chinese people have good heart. They're very collective people. They like to serve the commune. They're not about self. They're givers. Anyway, so don't worry. They have book in Chinese. We have many nice tea, shifu, many nice devotees who very beautiful people. You should meet. Easy. For you, it's easy now. Not difficult. Very difficult when you're in China. You're lost forever. Too much. Everything. Life is like, it's a very template life. You have to be successful. You have to work. Because if you're not successful, there's nothing you can do. So it's a very competitive life. Like in America as well. You know, America is a very competitive country. New car, new house, like, America's a little bit more like, okay, take some drugs on the weekend, go to festival, relax. Not like in China, but very difficult. In India, it's all different. Sometimes in India, nothing happens for thousands of years. You go on the street, there's nothing happens for the last 5,000 years on that street. There's some yogi lying under a tree. And you come back next year, he's lying on the same tree. And you already travel around, you've been everywhere, and you're not happy, and he's very happy. I'm nice to meet you. Yeah. And you think like, hey, you're lying, like, you're crazy. No, he said, no, you crazy. Me? You crazy. No, you crazy. You crazy. Like, you know, because why? Because he's internally, he's an internal journey. You know, he's not externally. So he doesn't need to hide by the mountain or by the ocean. He's inside himself. He has internal space. And he has nothing. Like literally nothing. And he's happy. And he smile. Like sometimes you come to India, early in the morning, you take a little tea, very cold, and you know, people covered. And you're like, hey. And people smile at you, and you feel like you're home. You don't know who these people are, why they're here. They're also cold. You drink little tea, they drink little tea. And they're like, it's a different story. It's not that what car you drive, what iPhone you have, what shoes you on, what is your bag. A lot of people have no bag or plastic bag. Louis Vuitton shoes from wood. Plastic bag for 1 rupee. It's okay. No problem. Okay, so that's what we want to share with you today. And remember, it's not like you go to one spiritual meeting and you become enlightenment. It doesn't work this way. You go to one spiritual meeting, something has to pinch your heart. Something has to pinch your heart that you should understand, okay, I want to go deeper. Like, you know, I'm very impressed. The books that coming to me and things coming to me right now. Like I've read Socrates, and when I was 40 in hospital, dying in a hospital, I've read Socrates. I understood. I've read certain books. Like when you're a student, you're supposed to read them. You don't get it. So at a certain age of my life, there's certain books I've read, but just like Bhagavad-Gita. Remember, I told you, that time I was 22 years old. It wasn't just casual reading. And later I translate this in Russian, I look some other, I look at Sanskrit, you know, like, it wasn't the same. It was something that this book speak to me, to depth of my heart. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some mental experience. Mental experience, just say you watch good movie, after 5 minutes you forget about. I'm talking about some experience that will hit your heart and make you go, make you search, make you commit, make you make this goal. That's what I'm talking about. And somebody like him, you see, he already sitting like yogi. He doesn't need to do anything on physical level. I'm talking about physical. But spiritually, yes, you have to do a lot of work. Because already you have certain body, your agni, your digestion, your Like, you know, a lot of Indian people or like Nepali people, Tibetan people, they already body like yogi. They can live in the frozen Himalayas, they have no problem. But remember, it's not about body, it's not about mind, it's about soul. So we need to nourish our soul. And love is something that you cannot replace by anything. The spiritual love is not replaceable by mental or emotional or drugs. Like when I started going with art projects to festivals, I met many people from Boom, Burning Man. They all taken psychedelics, mushrooms, dance. And I explained to them, I said, look, this is not the path. This may be the key from the door. But don't think by taking some substance, you will follow the path. No, it's not, doesn't work like this. It may be the key. Maybe the door, maybe you are near the door because you feel, oh, there's something beyond the door. But to get on the path and walk on the path, nothing will help you. Nothing artificial will help you. No drugs, no money, no fame. It's only two things you need to have. Number one, big, generous heart to receive and to give. Remember, your heart is a receiver and giver. Give and receive, give and receive. Shravanam Kirtanam. And second thing is the mercy of God, which means mercy of Guru. When God gives you a mercy, He sends you the teacher or someone who will guide you. It's not like you wake up. No, it will send you someone. Some conditions. So two, giving, receiving heart, and mercy of Supreme. That means you giving, receiving means you have to pray, but you can't just do it like abusively. Just, you know, like child ask mama, oh, give me this, give me that, give me, you know, it doesn't work like this. It has to be giving and receiving heart. And then also the grace, because your prayer will be answered by grace. But if you don't understand the grace, like if you're blind, you cannot get it. So a few tricks. We can chant. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahamantra is very special. First of all, if we consider to be Yuga Dharma, the millennium, which is 400,000 years, one of the cycle, cosmic cycle we're living in right now, that's the mantra for the cycle. Number two, that mantra is described in scriptures as the most powerful names of God. Why? Because it is direct love experience. Here's the problem. It's for qualified people. So it can purify your heart, get your soul, but you have to be qualified. For that, there are a special way you practice that. It's not just if you hear that and say, I've heard that, I have no experience. It doesn't work this way. In yogic practice, every mantra requires some practice before it will get the power. Understand? That's why you have to chant a lot. But the power will come not just from random chanting. It doesn't work like this. It has to be chanted with a proper heart, with a proper mind, proper association, and it takes time. So just like anything real, it takes time to grow. The tree of love, not easy to grow. You have to water with your heart. But in good association, you'll be fine. Unfortunately, I have to run to airport to meet my Indian friend who's coming from Vrindavan, New Delhi, the same place where I was messed up. And he's coming with his wife and child, and he will stay in our ashram. His plane landing in 30 minutes. But if those of you who want to continue spiritual search and association, first of all, Srimati Bhakti Lalita, very experienced yoga teacher. She's very humble, as great spiritual women never come up, I know everything. Or Chaitanya Maya is also very good, qualified in many ways. She's mainly like teacher for yoga teachers. But, in yoga, Bhakti Yoga, she's also our god sister. And then Jaya Prabhu, her friend. And Ananda Maya, you can say, you can take a phone. And I highly recommend you to visit our Chinese place and meet our Chinese girls. You'd be so happy to know them. Then you can plug in. And you, of course, as a Brazilian, you should talk to Chaitanya Maya. And, I think you're all wonderful people. And, of course, I want to thank you. And Vasudha, later I will show him some Chaitanya Maya. You can also, but he can come to our temple. I can show him. Don't worry, you will die healthier. Not now. After sometimes after, because you are a very nice person. That will finish that problem. This left side, you had some problem with your mother or your sister, something like that. I believe, female side. When you have some problem with your female companions, that normally get paralyzed. Because everything mind. So if you had big problem with your mother or with females, that cause you a stroke. But don't worry, that can be fixed. 2 ways. Respect women, and second of all, do little practice to ally your left side of body, which is male, which is controlled by sun, and the one that controlled by moon. Obviously, you are, by your facial part, you are the moon influencer. So moon, mind. That's why for you, chanting is the best. But practicing something also good. Anyway, that's easier. Hare Krishna. So anyway, I want to ask you permission to leave. And nice to meet you all. You're all incredible beings. I'm so happy. I'm lucky today. I met some sincere people. That's why I'm very happy. Otherwise, I would not tell the story, I only tell the story by very special people. Otherwise, they think I'm crazy. A little bit, not so much. A little crazy is okay. And next week I'm flying to India, but I'll be back in 3 to 4 weeks' time. So if any of you stay here in Chiangmai, otherwise get connection, stay in. Otherwise, stay in touch. And nowadays you can Zoom, you can Telegram, so many ways. But nothing will replace heart to heart. Life is always most important. So don't hesitate to come and meet and enjoy association of devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna bless you.